On this episode, I'm in the mountains of the California Mother Lode region in search of gold beneath the clear waters of the Yuba River. I'll be carefully reading the rivers and searching for clues that might point me in the direction of a gold deposit. The water level is at its lowest and warmest point of the year and teeming with life and beauty.
Good morning, folks. Prospector Jerry. We're on another adventure today. I'm back at an area very close to where I ended my day yesterday. I was going to walk right by this. But I noticed this crack. There's a crack in the bedrock. Where is it? Let's see. This one right here. This looked really good to me as I was walking by. It just jetties off down that way. So I was like, I wonder if this crack continues into the water. And I know I found my best piece yesterday right in front of that rock, up on that other bedrock that's spoken out. So I came down here and I found the crack, and it runs down here. It gets all the way to right here. And I don't know if you could see it or not, but there's that crack going right across. It's not completely, it's actually running with the flow somewhat, but it is at an angle. I know this heavies were dropping out right there. This is right below a big drainage. What the hell? Let's throw the mask on and see if there's anything in there. I cleaned out that whole crack, not a speck of gold. I even cleaned out a little pocket above it. Looks really good. That's the problem with this river, at least where I'm at. Got the right kind of bedrock, but I will say there's a ton of little divots and fractures in it. I feel like a lot of gold, bigger gold's going to be stuck in like a tiny little pocket. There's just the whole riverbed's like a sluice box. So I'm going to have to find some really distinct features, I feel like, in this area at least, to find where the gold is. I'm going to go down a little bit further. The bedrock changes to granite. Granite's not the best, but I feel like right around where it changes to granite, that's where I've been getting some of my best gold. So we'll try to make our way down there. So I stopped in this area right here. It doesn't look too crazy, but you see this? That's bedrock right there, and right there, that hump right there is also bedrock. And I don't know if you could see this, but there's a little pocket right there. You see that bedrock? It kind of comes up, and then there's a void on the backside. I see some cobble jammed in it right there, and then that's all bedrock all the way down into there. This is basically in the middle of the river. That's that inside bend coming around, coming straight. Then you got an inside bend over there. So if you drew a line from there to there, straight line down the river, it's most likely where our gold's going to be, connecting that corner up there to this corner. That's somewhere in here. So we have a lot of cobble. This is one of the first spots where I'm seeing cobble piled up on bedrock. And the other thing about this spot is I remember this from the first time I was here. We were all detecting on this, and there was a lot of heavy targets on this bedrock. It kind of stood out. So that's another sign that this is a good area. We had some heavy objects falling out up there. I can only imagine if heavy objects are falling out down here too. I don't see any cobble up there. So it's almost like that's a high pressure zone, more of a high pressure zone when it's high than down here. So anyways, I think that I'm gonna try floating around in here a little bit, see if I can find anything. So I'm a little perplexed. I know there's heavies here. I think I'm wasting my time though. I don't know if there's gold here. I was finding nice looking pockets. You know, I broke open that pocket I was showing you. It looked really good. Nothing in there. There was a piece of wire in there. Pocket next to it had this big old tie, it looks like a work cart tie, or for the work cart track. It's about that size. Looks like a railroad spike but smaller. So that's a indication I'm in the right spot. I'm finding the heavies, just not a speck of gold. So I don't know what to do at this point. I feel like the better gold that I've gotten is way downriver. I kind of went in at a high point, too far away to get down to that. So, not quite sure what I'm going to do. So this is interesting. I've just been walking the river, kind of just reading it. I decided to slow down a little bit and just started looking at things more. And I noticed the bedrock's changing right here. It's changing in an interesting way too. You could see those colored sections here. It's two different types of bedrock. That's granite, but inside of the granite you have this, I'm not sure what type of a rock this is. You can see a good example of it here. It's changing. You see there's some granite poking up right there. Then you have this other bedrock. It's like a band of granite coming through here. Little bits popping up. Little bits over here popping up. This is interesting. The one thing that I saw that really caught my eye though, it's right back in here. It's hard to tell. Right there's a little cap and it's fractured on both sides. And there's a pocket in front of it. Kind of a pinch point. I don't know, it's something that stood out to me that looked like I could probably work that. So I'm gonna throw on the equipment, see if I can pop that out of there.
This bedrock ledge had multiple fractures in it. I broke off a piece and brushed away the material, exposing the rich gold-bearing clay below. I started to see gold right away, little bits here and there. I used my snuffer bottle to suck up each piece individually. Bit by bit, I broke away more and more bedrock and exposed more clay. I had to agitate the clay some to see the gold better. Sometimes the gold's right on top, but a lot of times it's embedded in the clay. I started seeing more and more gold and larger pieces as well. The more I brushed away this material, the more gold that was exposed little by little. You can see here next to this larger piece, there's also some tiny pieces. Sometimes you would brush away material and there would be just pockets of small gold and black sand. Oh man, wearing a mask starts to hurt right here for me. Some people it's up here, for me it's right here. I've been working for a couple of hours in this area, just kind of different spots, anywhere where I could see that there's bedrock that can be broken away. And I've been making pretty good progress with that and finding gold. Not a lot, I found a couple of spots where there was some decent gold, but pretty consistently. Just a bunch of small stuff. I think I'm going to take a little break. I just dumped out my snuffer bottle. We're going to do a little reveal. Yeah, I'm doing pretty decent. Some mercury covered bits in there. At least I beat the skunk. I ate my lunch and was eager to get back in the water. There was a lot more material still to be fanned away, and I was still finding gold, but not as frequently as I had before. This material kept falling down into where I was working, and I would find gold at the edge of it. I would brush it up into the pile and slowly work my way towards it, exposing bits of gold one by one. You can see the layer of clay on the bedrock. It's that brownish material. It's very thin, but it holds gold like a magnet. Well, I think I'm going to call it a wrap. I am beat. My feet hurt. My knees hurt from being bent in a weird position. I was trying to stretch out a lot of the times, but for whatever reason I wanted to be in this like ball position working, so kind of messed with my legs and my back a little bit. I got a little bit more gold. I got probably one of my biggest pieces. It's just nothing special, just a picker size, but I didn't get very much and I worked extra hard. At least I know that I'm onto something here with this line going up from that bend to this bend. Start getting down here, start getting around this corner a little bit, and it seems like there's good gold right where there should be. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but that's where I was working at. Right behind that sticking up right there's bedrock. So right behind that bedrock, I was working down in there, breaking away some cracks. And up there, there's a little boulder that's kind of sticking up. I was behind another little piece of bedrock right there working. And those two spots right there and right there, that's where I got all my gold today. I'm gonna keep trying to hit these sniping spots as much as I can this year. You only have a short window of time to work with this stuff, maybe a couple months if you're lucky. Definitely be back at this spot. Check out the gold that I found. Here's my pan for the day. Pretty decent gold. I think that piece right there is the one that I just got recently. Maybe a couple other of them, but not very many. I got the majority of that gold out of one crack. One little cap of bedrock that I broke off. A lot of the gold around here has mercury on it. I've even gotten some pockets of amalgam. One of these days I'm going to have to get all that mercury gold and clean it up. Maybe make a video on it. So I haven't gotten the skunk yet. I've gotten gold each time. And it's been kind of varying, but pretty steady, pretty decent each time. So I'm happy with it. I'm really happy, feel really blessed to have this spot. It's time to wrap up all my gear, throw my pack on, get the heck out of here. There's Mama Goose and her babies. I seen her yesterday. She kind of hangs out around here. I made my way back up to the cabin, which sits about 600 feet above the river. The hike was brutal with the summer's heat, so I took some time to relax and reflect on the day's lessons. Each day spent here teaches me something new about the river and where gold can be found. Today showed me that although a spot may look great, the gold seems to concentrate in specific areas, particularly closer to the bends and more so in the center of the river. I'll use this knowledge to my advantage next time, and eventually I just might find a rich deposit. And if I do, I can't wait to share that adventure with you. If you're interested in purchasing gold and minerals included in these episodes, please check out my Etsy store with the link listed below. I'd like to say thank you to all my Patreon members. It's because of you that these adventures are possible, and I can't thank you enough for all of the support. If you're considering becoming a Patreon member, check out the link in the description below. There's also a link in the top right corner of the next screen. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button and drop a comment below. Thank you for watching, and as always, I wish you heavy pans.